doing a little simplifying. I put the Old Town here up for sale. Good price too, $1,900 if anybody's interested. Come and talk to me about it. I've just been struggling with it. It's so good to get out. I love the pedal drive. It's super good quality, super stable. The only issue I have with it is I am short. I'm 5'5", and I have a short inseam at that. So I have the seat almost all the way forward in order to use the pedal drive, and that doesn't leave me any good working space. So I just feel cramped, even though it's a 12-foot boat. It's a huge boat. There's tons of space. I can literally walk around on it. I've walked up to the bow, right? It just doesn't work for me. I also went back through some videos that I've had, and I always talk about how much I love the Crescent, and that I know Crescent's never going to make a pedal drive, but I can motorize this really easy. I can throw, it's got a flat transom, so I can just throw any transom out on there, use a tiller extension and get a decent battery, run that up front. Not a big deal. I'm going to have more headache getting it registered because it hasn't been motorized, so adding the motor on is going to be its own challenge. So I've mentioned that in many of these like fishing trip recap videos that, I think I'll do that. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to sell the Old Town, buy all the stuff to motorize the Crescent, and then I'm going to get a couple more lower end, mid to lower tier kayaks just for friends. I've had people want to come and kayak with me, and we have 3 kayaks and a canoe, and there's typically 4 of us that are going to go out, and the canoe's a little of a different beast. So I think another, something okay, a Lifetime Tamarack or something like that. The kids really don't care. They just like to paddle around, and they're not going to be out there very long anyway. They love this Old Town Vapor that's up there. I like it too. I just can't be in it all day because it starts to really wear on my back. And here's to kind of demonstrate what I was talking about. So this is where I have to have the seat. I can go back one more notch if I really stretch my legs out, but that's not super comfortable. So even all the way up there, so this is nearly against the drive, there is like 0 room. So my feet are always under here. It's just once the seat is forward and the drive is down, this area is just so cramped. And again, that's a me problem, not a this boat problem. So that's my issue, and that's what I keep running into. So here's the comparison, right? Here's the working area on the Crescent. Seat is there, so that's the only place it's going to be. All this is always open, right? So yeah, I mean, there's just so much room for me to work. It paddles well. There was one other thing. The Crescent is like 70 pounds. Obviously rigged up, it's going to be a little different because I usually have an anchor on there and tackle and all that stuff. But I can strip down what I have, and it's still an 80-pound package, right? The Old Town is a lot more than that. So I think it's 100 plus without the drive. So once the drive on, it's pretty heavy. The Crescent, if I need to, I can pick it up, throw it on my shoulder, and carry it somewhere. This last tournament I did down at Truman, there were a couple places that I wanted to go to try, and there was not a lot, but I don't know, 40, 50 yards of like pretty narrow trail. And then it was reasonably steep. There was no way I was getting this Old Town up and down. Could have done it with the Crescent, but could not have done it with the Old Town. That said, the Old Town is fantastic. I mean, I cover 6+ miles every tournament I'm in. I cannot do that on the Crescent with just the paddle alone. I cannot do that and still have the energy to effectively fish and also make it back to where I need to go and load it up and all that stuff. The pedal drive is so beautifully efficient at moving the boat, and it's like you get to a moderate pace and it kind of goes, like I said, at leisurely 3 miles an hour. Literally I can do that all day without, it's not a strain at all. It's just this gentle cadence, 3 miles an hour all day long. Wind, it might drop down to like 2.8. I mean, it's beautifully efficient at just moving through the water, covering water super quick. And that has been a big benefit on some of the tournaments I've made. 3 mile runs up and I'm not gassed at the end. 3 miles paddling the Crescent, not good. I've also gotten stuck in a tournament with paddle only, where I couldn't get out of the cove I launched in because the wind was so bad. Everyone with motors and pedal drives was able to get out, but not me. So that's why I am going to have the motor rigged up. I'm going to rig it so it's easy to swap on and off, because I don't always want the motor. But that way, when I get on these bigger lakes where I'm going to make these long runs, I'll just slap the motor on, plug it in, make my runs that I need to. And then my day-to-day, I'm just going out for fun. Just throw and go.